these Klansmen, these white supremacists in this administration. You know, we got the 250th anniversary of the country this year, and they are trying to strip all of the truth out. We already saw what they did with the slavery exhibit in Philadelphia. So this is what they're doing in Mississippi. This is from Mississippi Today. There are pamphlets that pass out when you go visit the Medgar and Merle Evers Home National Monument. The pamphlets they pass out. They now have edited the brochures that reference Brian Della Beckwith. This is the racist, the violent racist who assassinated Medgar Evers in his driveway. He died in front of his wife and his children. And they have edited they removed any references to him. They've eliminated also the reference to saying Medgar Evers was lying in a pool of blood after being shot. They also, the original brochures pulled from the home called Beckwith a member of the Racist and Segregationist White Citizens Council. Now they don't want to say that. Now you got to keep in mind, Trump signed this executive order calling for restoring truth and sanity to American history. And so Doug Burgum, who was the Interior Secretary who oversees the Park Service, his own order called for the removal of descriptions, depictions, or other content that inappropriately disparage Americans past or living, including persons living in colonial times, and instead focus on the greatness of the achievements and progress of the American people, or with respect to national features, the beauty, abundance, and the grandeur of the American landscape. So let me go ahead and unpack that for y'all.
Yes.
What they really are saying is, don't call them racist. Don't call them slave holders. Don't say that Thomas Jefferson, don't say that Sally Hemings was a woman who bore his children. Don't say she got raped. Don't say that she was owned. They don't want to say none of that. But when you talk about Byron Della Beckwith, this man didn't give a damn. This man, he did not care, don't care. He was a violent racist to the end. He was nasty. He was despicable. And see when you go to Jackson, they have a whole. This when I was there. This is the home. It's in that driveway right there. You see on the left. That's where he got. That's where he was shot and killed. Byron Della Beckwith's punk ass, as he rests in hell because he was an evil son of a bitch. He fired at him from across the street, killing him, and was finally brought to justice decades later. But that's who this man is. And see, Donald Trump, they want to strip all of this. They want to strip all of this. So when you go there, let me fast forward this video. So when you go there, you'll see. So this is what it looks like right here. So you'll see they have the sign out there. So this is a part of that home now is part of the U.S. Park Service. So what you're going to see is when I was visiting, when you come around that corner, you're going to actually see how they have descriptions on the outside of the house, what took place. It was closed that day, so we couldn't go inside. But you see right here, you see how they have all these descriptions. So what you're seeing right here, what Donald Trump wants to do, where you see these descriptions, where you see explanations, they want to strip anything that hurts the feeling of white folks from this. This shows you the evil of these people. And so that executive order, oh, no. Let's talk about just how amazing and wonderful and the grandeur of America. They don't want this generation to know about the heinous, evil, shameful crimes committed by folks in this country, Greg. That's why they want to ban books. That's why at Texas A&M, the regents want to control what's taught in the classrooms. That's why they want to control the curriculum, because they do not want the next generation and the next generation to truly know about the heinous, despicable history of America and its treatment of African American people of African descent, of Asian Americans, of Latinos, of women. They don't want folk to know none of that stuff. They just want everybody to keep believing the lie of George Washington chopping down a cherry tree and how everybody else was go along, get along.
Absolutely. Well, let's start with the thing right in front of us, and thank you for sharing that footage, Roland. I've been there a couple of times, and it's something to stand in that under that portico, isn't it? And realize this is where Medgar Evers lost his life. First thing is they will be going to court. Somebody's going to court in Philadelphia. Shout out to our brother Michael Cord and the Avenging the Ancestors Coalition. I was actually on a call with Mike and the crew, including a crack team from the University of Pennsylvania Law School, a clinic there led by one of the sisters who's a lawyer there and a law professor there. They went into court. Shout out again to Sherelle Parker, the mayor of Philadelphia, who instructed the city solicitor to go in. And it was a George Bush appointee, the judge there, as has been talked about here, who went in. Actually, she went in, I want to say this past Monday. The arguments were heard Friday, and then Monday she said, show me where you took all the stuff that you took down, and issued an injunction. Don't touch nothing else. So the first thing is to go to court, and the cause of action, at least the legal argument, will be that you are discriminating against Black people. It's a racial discrimination argument. It's 14th Amendment argument. And I think that they have a great chance at success. But that's the legal question. The broader question, I think, I'm not ambivalent. We're all 10 toes down to fight for ourselves. What I am is very clear. I embrace Donald Trump and Doug Burgum, all these people from Klan Central Casting. I embrace them all. We remember what happened 50 years ago in 1976. Black people in that same city of Philadelphia we've been talking about went to the mayor, a purebred racist named Frank Rizzo, former police commissioner, and said, you're going to put public dollars behind an African-American museum in Philadelphia, or everybody coming to this city to celebrate the bicentennial, oh, we're going to have a dance. And that is where the Philadelphia African-American Museum came from. It is also the year that Black folk around the country organized, and the first National Afro-American Museum and Cultural Center was erected in Wilberforce. This is the 250th anniversary. Let me be crystal clear about this, in case anybody is not clear. I don't give a damn about the United States of America. You celebrate your settler colony any kind of way you want. Byron de la Beckwith is your brother. You should embrace him. You should elevate him. You should put his face on the money. Do what you want, because this is what you're going to reap. Since you're going to reap the wind, you sow the wind, you're going to reap the whirlwind. Guess what? Wasn't there a Black kid under the center for the University of Mississippi that took you within a hair's breadth of the national championship? As we get all this other stuff restored to the parks, guess what? Let's print up our own pamphlets. Let's go out there and hand them out. And let's tell everybody that you will be out of your young Black mind if you go throw a football for Ole Miss. Let these white boys repopulate their football teams. Let these white girls go play basketball. I don't care whether it's South Carolina. I don't care whether it's Ole Miss or University of Texas. Y'all can go to hell. You can keep your settler ass country, because this time we're not going to pull you out of the fire. And if you come on this property and try to take something out of our hands after we done printed these pamphlets, oh, you're going to find out something else. And that's when these white boys going to find out they ain't got the muscle. I'm saying, let's just finally have this out. Let's just finally have this out.
Thelma?
Sign me up. Where I put my name at to be a part, because I'm ready. On site. You hear me? The one thing
on site.
On site, they can get it. Trust and believe. The same thing that you're saying about Ole Miss is the same thing that needs to be said about LSU, and how Louisiana is doing the exact same thing. And when I think about my nieces who are 9 years old and how they are not being enriched in school with our history, I remember growing up and being so excited about Black History Month every year, because I knew I was going to get to learn and take in our rich history. And that's when we felt seen, because we got to not only report on our people, but we got to be embraced for the culture and the richness of who we've always been. And when you see that they're trying to take away our legacy, and some of the legacy is being as dark because of them, it shows you the power of us knowing who we are that they don't want us to remember. They want to wipe every piece of history that makes them look bad and shows that we were the victim. Because how dare they still have to live with the evidence of their ancestors, and we can't live with the truth of ours. That's one of the reasons why I don't care where I go, I always encourage people to learn and go to these historical sites. One of my favorite sites is the Equal Justice Initiative Museum. Every time you go in that museum, you are going to come out a changed person. Something is going to invoke in that emotion to see and feel the essence of what we went through. And that's what they want to wipe away. But they then fucked around and found out, because we're not doing the laying down at all.
Deborah, what I keep saying to black folks is, and I've always said this about Black on Media Matters, don't you leave it up to somebody who don't look like you to tell your story.
That's
Yeah, definitely.
right.
I was just thinking, when you were walking around that museum with your camera and you were taking pictures of the captionings or the text that was on the museums aren't decoration, it's the truth. It is where our stories have been told. It is where we're trying to keep those memories alive. And they've never allowed us to keep our memories alive. And that's been the importance of oral history. That's the importance of, you need to celebrate those Black newspapers in your town. You need to celebrate the Roland Martins of the world. You need to celebrate the end of NAACP and NAN and all of these organizations that keep our history alive and let us know that we are in history right now. We are making history. It's our responsibility to pass it on to our children. We go to these schools and they whitewash our history, and it looks like corporate gaslighting, if you ask me. Everything Trump is doing in that office, every decision he's making, is to undermine the progress that we have made. And if we're not going to go backwards, we have to make sure that we're keeping this history alive, that we are supporting the institutions that are supporting us, that we are listening to our Black college radio stations and media stations, and really supporting those not only with our eyes and with our ears, but with our finances. That's really important. We have to, if you have talent to write, or if you have talent to do anything that allows people to be able to know what's going on in your communities and making it to where your communities can understand what's going on right now, it's a collective responsibility. It's a collective responsibility to take pictures, to keep that history alive. And it started with us. We can't keep putting it off and keep waiting for them to get it right, or to not act like they're not trying to remove all aspects of DEIA. And it's bad for immigrants, disabled people, people of color, Black, no matter what part of the spectrum you're on, you're being impacted. And even if you thought you couldn't be impacted as a brown person, you're being impacted. Your families are being impacted. So what are we going to do about it? Are we going to keep quiet, or are we going to keep our history alive and keep making history? Use social media for something that makes sense. Write something, make an op-ed. It's too easy. And with ChatGPT, you can find out how to do it if you don't know how to do it. So I think it's just a call to us to make sure we keeping our history alive, make sure we're going to these museums and we're documenting what's in these museums.